today that are among the 144,000 whose great-great-grandfather, which was probably you, that was actually in that war. So no matter what happened, you wouldn't die.
Yeah, there's a chart here entitled Casualties of World War I. Now, earlier I read the account of the troops that came out of the Caribbean. Now, they give the numbers here. It says the Caribbean mobilized 21,000, killed were 1,000, wounded 3,000. This is the combination of all the islands, which includes Jamaica. Total unknown 4,000. The percentage of the casualties were 19% from the West Indian Islands during World War I. And total mobilized was 21,000.
So you got that, right? Okay, let's read on.
Verse, Revelation 9 and 5. And to them it was given that they should not kill them, but that they should be tormented 5 months. And their torment was as the torment of a scorpion when they striketh a man. And in those days...
Now that 5 months represent really almost 5 years, about 5 years. Because the war started in 1914 and it ended in 1918. So you got 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. It was a little less than 5 years. In the 5th year, that's when that war... It was November, really at the end of... the year. And another fact is that the U.S., they didn't get involved with this war until like the last 7 months of the war. All right?
The very next year, they signed what was called the Treaty of Versailles in 1919.
That's right. That's right. That's right. I read that again.
Right. It says, and to them it was given that they should not kill them, but that they should be tormented 5 months, and their torment was as the torment of a scorpion when he striketh a man. And in those days men shall seek death and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them.
Now I'm going to show you that that's not talking about months, because sometimes when the Most High says days, like in Peter's, 2 Peter's, 1 day to him is 1,000 years. So this 5 months is not talking about actual months. Because sometimes the Most High will use days, sometimes the Most High will use months, and this can mean a number of years. So you have to have the Spirit of the Most High to open your eyes to it. Now, to prove that, give me the book. I'm going to hit 2 scriptures, Revelation 11 chapter, the 2nd verse, Revelation the 13th chapter, and the 5th verse.
Revelation 11 and 2. But the court which is without the temple leave out, and measure it not, for it is given unto the Gentiles, and the holy city shall they tread under foot 42 months.
Right, so these heathens are over there. They've been over there from the very beginning, and they're still over there to this very day. All right? And the holy city, twofold, is talking about us. Because did not they tread over us? That's in the book of Isaiah. They tread over us for a period of 42 months, which adds up to, 42 months is 3.5 years, which really means 350 years. So when Esau landed on Plymouth Rock, that's when the bulk of the slaves were being brought over here. So from 1620 until 1970, that's when they were stepping on us. We didn't know nothing. But after 1970, when you go to the book of Obadiah, it said, thence will the Most High, when you set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. So you started going down when you send up that, I forget which Apollo it was. We went through it before, but one of them you had sent up, and that was in 1970 around there, and that's when you started going down. That's when you were in the midst of the Vietnam War. That's when you came back strung out on drugs. What you think gonna happen to these guys that come back? The guys that don't die over there in the Middle East, they're gonna come back strung out on drugs and mess up in their mind, man. Shell-shocked, all right? And we're gonna show you that. We're gonna go back to this. What's gonna happen now is the same thing that happened back there in World War I. Go ahead.
Revelation 13 and 5. And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months.
Okay, let's continue to, let's finish watching this. So when these guys came back, they wasn't looking good. They wasn't looking right. Look at this dude. He's totally bugged. That war totally bugged his ass out. That's Esau and the kingdom, boy. That's what they're gonna be looking like when we come back to that. I wonder if he's gonna be safe. Yeah, that's, you're the Harlem Shake, well that's the Cracker Shake. We're laughing about him because we don't give two shits about him. That's right, that's right. And the kingdom, we're going to be grabbing them up like that too. He would have been better off dead over there. That's right. That's right. Okay, now let's go back to Revelation, the 9th chapter.
Revelation 9 and 7. And the shapes of the locusts were like unto horses prepared unto battle. And on their heads were as it were crowns like gold. And their faces were as the faces of men. And they had hair as the hair of women. And their teeth were as the teeth of lions.
Right, so this is John seeing the dog fighters, guys like the Red Baron, all right, fighting in the sky. And he saw the men inside of the plane, and he saw their faces. But then he went back and forth to where you had the German military in formation, and you had Kaiser Wilhelm, which we're going to read later about. He's the angel of the bottomless pit. They showed him, and they showed his dignitaries around him, and what John saw, he saw them with these helmets on their head, but John said they were a crown. And that's what it was, because you had to have a certain rank to wear that helmet. And there was a TV show called Hogan's Heroes where they showed you that a close-up of that helmet with the spike coming out. But you had men that was of certain ranks that had that helmet with the spike coming out, but then you had high-ranking German officers that had this thing that looked like the hair of a woman. So what John was seeing, he was seeing the dog fighters. Then he saw the actual battle of Verdun. He saw the battle of Verdun, all right? Because it mentions the battle of Verdun as far as many other battles in the book of Revelation, the 6th chapter, when it speaks about, behold, there was a red horse. So now I'm going to go to this last clip right here. Hold up. You can see it right there. You can see the crown on their head with the hair coming out as the hair of the woman. Read that again, Ak.
It says, and they had hair as the hair of women, and their teeth were as the teeth of lions.
See it? The hair of woman. And this is Kaiser Wilhelm with a helmet with an eagle. Remember the eagle? That's Esau's symbol. So it's plain, man, that this is talking about World War. Look at that. In formation, the hair of woman. So this is what John, the Revelator, actually saw. There it goes again. And this basically is a old German song, and I believe it's entitled Wunderbar Zeiten, which basically means like wonderful times or good times. Just give me that. Don't worry about it. Just give me that. Speak for it.
Right, and you can clearly see that what the scriptures are saying, you know, and what you have to understand is that when John was on the island of Patmos, when he saw all these visions, the Most High, he basically wrote what he saw and what he understood in the terms of his day. You know, because back then they didn't have terms like airplane, you know, and tanks and none of that stuff. So he had to explain the vision in the terminology that was available to him back then. You know, so that's why when you read the book of Revelation, you'll see the word locust. And you know, a locust is shaped a certain way. A locust doesn't have the head of a man. They don't have teeth like lions. But you have to understand that it's talking about right, they don't have tails as a scorpion. So the scorpion tail represents a machine gun. The teeth of the lion represents the bullets that were coming out of the machine gun. The head, the head of a man was because in the plane it looked like the plane had a head of a man. It looked like a locust with a head of a man. So you know that's not talking about an actual locust. You know, so it's talking about these planes, you know, and everything is broken down in there. You know, if the Spirit of the Lord has opened your mind to see it, you know. So you're seeing it here. So he saw all of this, you know. So that's how we know we're in the end of the world, because what the Lord Yahushua showed John on the island of Patmos was the end of the world. The things that were going to happen to know for surety that we were in the end of the world, and that he was soon on his way to come back.
That's right. Now let's read on.
This is Revelation chapter 9, verse 8. And they had hair as the hair of women, and their teeth were as the teeth of lions. And they had breastplates, as it were breastplates of iron. And the sound of their wings was as the sound of chariots of many horses running to the battle.
Right. Now, the sound of chariots, the sound of the wings was like read again.
It says, and the sound of their wings was as the sound of chariots of many horses running to battle.
Now, last night what I did was I Googled the word World War I dogfighters sound or sound effects, and they'll send you to a site where you can get actual sound effects, right? So I went, you have to pay for this sound effect, but you can sample it. So I click play, and you hear a woman say, this is a sample sound effect. But when you hear that sound effect, it sounds like horses and chariots running to battle. Those planes made loud noises. Now you see a plane go by, just like you have a car, you don't have a muffler on the car, that car is going to make all kind of noise. The same thing with planes. You have like a muffling system or a silencing system for the power of the engine from them planes, man. The sound of them from them planes. So the sound of them planes were loud, so you heard them coming. Go ahead.
And they had tails like unto scorpions, and there were stings in their tail.
We saw that earlier when in the clip, and you're seeing it now. How you had two guys in the plane, and you had one guy that was flying, operating the plane, and you had another guy, another German soldier, that was actually manning a gun and shooting down the enemy. Go ahead.
And their power was to hurt men 5 months. And they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit.
Now we just showed the clip of the king of them, of the bottomless pit. That was Kaiser Wilhelm. Go ahead.
Whose name in the Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue has his name Apollyon.
Right, and both those names mean destroyer, if you look it up. Go ahead.
It says, excuse me, one woe is past, and behold, there come 2 woes more hereafter.
Because the angel said in Revelation, the 8th chapter and the 13th verse, he spoke about the 2 more three woes. The matter of fact, go to that. Go to that.